All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Comment, share, subscribe. You already know. BC Spank Dog at Instagram. Puffinstein 514 at Twitch. And let's get right into it. President, what a great president. He can't help but mess up America's economy. So if you guys don't believe me, then we'll fact check together. All right, so let me just start up the video.
All right, I found this article to be incredibly interesting, and I think you will as well. CNN just released a piece titled "Inside Trump's Defiant Response to Markets Tariff Meltdown." It's been a long-ass day. It's been a long week, especially if you're tied to the markets in any capacity, which more than half of Americans are through their 401ks.
If you got money invested, you're in trouble right now. The stock markets are plummeting as we speak. And you're going to have to keep your fingers crossed that whatever he did has, at the beginning, it works like it's something that takes effect slow. So at the beginning, you can't tell what he's doing is working. And then months from now or weeks from now, hopefully, the economy, you start to see what he's doing is working. Oh, man, I don't see that happening. And I want it to happen badly. I want the economy to be fixed. Even though he's the kind of guy that people want to say, I told you so, you don't want to pray that the economy goes into the toilet so you can say, I told you so about Trump.
And Trump ended the week off by golfing. This dude was golfing, enjoying himself, and he has been quite defiant as not only the domestic markets meltdown, but the global markets meltdown around him. And it was all totally unnecessary. I keep using that word. It was so unnecessary. There was no reason whatsoever. And attached to this article, there's a video of Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking today, saying that tariffs are highly
He got a hat, I got a hat too.
Likely to increase inflation.
Looking ahead, higher tariffs will be working their way through our economy and are likely to raise inflation in coming quarters. While uncertainty remains elevated, it is now becoming clear that tariff increases will be significantly.
At this point, he talks about what I said, that you got to see if what he did works. But like I said also, everybody is desperate to see the markets go up.
Larger than expected. And the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth. The size and duration of these effects remains uncertain. While tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation, it's also possible that the effects could be more persistent. Avoiding that out.
As much as I don't like Trump, I'm still praying that he got it right with that and the markets start to climb.
Would depend on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored, on the size of the effects, and on how long it takes for them to pass through fully to prices. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to make certain that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem.
Well said by Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Now, Trump is trying to pressure him to lower interest rates. It's all just a mess. Let's check out this article. President Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs are facing blowback from all corners, a market sell-off, foreign retaliation, anger from corporate America, and skepticism from the Federal Reserve chairman and some allies in Congress. Republicans, a few nights ago, signed on to a bill in the Senate to try to stop the tariffs against Canada. They know it's bad. The president has been defiant in the face of global turbulence. Let's go back to this photo of him. The dude doesn't care. His eyes are like swollen shut. He doesn't seem to care.
This is literally a battle of, let's say I have something you need and you have something I need. And I get in my feelings over something you did. I get angry at you. And I say, you know what? I used to pay $10 for that item. Well, there's a $2 tax now, so it's $12. And then the guy that he did that to goes, well, that thing that I sell to you, it's for $10, it's $13 now. And then he comes back and goes, well, now it's 14. And it's like, baby, who does that? These are grown men. It's as simple as that. But at the same time, I know that he's the one that's doing the whole tariff thing. He shouldn't have caught feelings at the beginning with the whole Canada, the 51st state. The Panama Canal is now the U.S. Canal. We want Iceland or Greenland, whatever it was. Like,
whatsoever. But let's continue reading this. Instead, the president chose to begin his day on the golf course in Florida. The financial markets were already falling by the time he left his Mar-a-Lago resort for a short ride to the Trump International Golf Club. And we have exclusive sources on what Trump's day looked like and how he responded as the markets melted down and as pressure mounted. He waved to onlookers as his presidential limousine rolled through the gates. And here's a clip of the JP Morgan executive saying inflation and recession are much more likely from tariffs. I won't play this because I've talked about this extensively in other videos. But while the
right there, they just said it. They said more than likely. Remember how I said that I hope that whatever he's doing works? Well, they literally just said they don't think it's gonna.
president has traveled to Florida nearly every weekend since taking office. He chose to leave the White House a day earlier than normal, creating a split screen of being on golf course in one of the wealthiest enclaves in America as economic worries deepened. I don't mean to pull this really cliche card because we say this all the time, but just imagine if President Biden had done this during his 4 years, if while we were on the verge of a recession, he was chilling in Florida golfing. And I know President Biden took vacations, but President Biden...
I'm not a fan of Biden, but he wouldn't have messed us up like Trump messing us up. You know, opinion, you know, that Biden has done that despicable to me. But as far as for our country, who's better? Biden was better. You know, they're gonna do messed up stuff. But he's, I said, the less of the two evils.
And also, along with the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, stuck a soft landing and left the economy in a pretty great position while also passing a historic amount of legislation through Congress. Trump has passed nothing, and by this point in Biden's presidency, he passed the $2.8 trillion American Rescue Plan. U.S. stocks plunged a second day straight after China said Friday it would impose 34% reciprocal tariffs.
Mancave be on his P's and Q's.
Absolute wild, way higher than all experts thought. The Dow closed with a massive direction, down more than 10% from its record high in December.
You hear him, the Dow 10% record high. You see, like, y'all want to have the evidence in front of me. And if you guys don't want to believe me, see, eventually you build a reputation. So I'm not trying to put out anything that's not fact checked, that I don't know for sure, you know, or I'm a trusted source. I'm not trying to go out there without knowing stuff and start saying a whole bunch of stuff. You know, I do it all over again, then put out I'm not sure about and just let it ride. You know what I'm saying? And Mancave has a trusted source and somebody that I could rely on. You know, there's like Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Here's the deal. My name's Brian, but I'm not certain. But and I don't want to blow people up anyway. People like their privacy. I don't know if people want to be called by their channel name. So here's the deal is a trusted site. Adam Mancave is a trusted site, you know, and a lot of others, you know what I'm saying? So you know, shout out to Mancave, man, for keeping informed and being down to earth.
A White House official said the president's, quote, full attention was on the tariff policy Friday. Not only the tariff policy, but how many hits it takes to get the golf ball in this hole. It's just absolutely wild. The official dismissed the suggestion that Trump was rattled by the market reaction, saying the president has long warned of a short-term pain created by his tariff vision. But the thing is, Trump's multiple all-caps Truth Social posts this morning painted a different story. He said, China is panicking. Why are they panicking? It was just a clear display of projection in the moment. On Thursday afternoon, Trump said countries were already coming to him to make deals, but his message Friday morning sounded different. Quote, too many investors coming into the United States and investing massive amounts of money. My policies will never change.
Yeah, all right.
He then said this is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before, basically begging people. Now, here's where we get into the behind the scenes stuff. Really quickly, if I could just ask you.
You know what it is? It's hard to, we got a president that would try to, you know, fool us. It's obviously not the way he just stated it. And it's like not
to make sure you to the channel. I know I keep showing this chart, but I'm very proud because of you guys. Our channel got into the top 10 fastest growing political channel on the entire for Q1 of 2025. I'm right below Joe Rogan and right above Megyn Kelly, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson.
Let me pause this because, to be honest with you, I'm proud of him. This is dope. Look at where he is. Adam Mockler right there. I mean, come on, the Joe Rogan, MSNBC, Fox News, the Midas Touch, the Midas #1. And what's crazy is he's an affiliate of the Midas Touch because I've been watching them for a while now. You know, I like the network a lot, but I like Adam Mockler's a little better, you know, but he's a Touch network. I've seen him report before, and he'll have the Midas Touch network on the screen. So, but still, man, this is amazing. Above Megyn Kelly, you know, and probably above of other people, you know, that time. Congratulations to Makla. That's what's up. He's one of my favorite channels to watch with you guys, to react to. And it's much everybody out there, but me and this kid are on the same page. I told people when I react to stuff, I echo the channel sentiment. So me and him are on the same page about things. You know what I'm saying? I watch him because I choose to, you know. And like, I shout out to him. Let him finish. The stage is his. Let him finish saying what he was saying about doing good on YouTube.
Carlson. So make sure you subscribe. Let's continue growing. Back to the article. While the president sent several messages throughout the day,
I already smashed the like button too. Go check his channel, people.
An advisor said Trump was intentionally not speaking publicly or taking questions on camera as the trading markets remained open on Friday. Even though the White House has kept up a strident defense on its tariff strategy, a rising sense of frustration and anger at the universal global reaction was troubling. Quote, the president isn't guided by the market, but of course he watches it like everyone else. And oh boy, the markets are down. But that quote came from a Republican advisor speaking at a...
Not only did I think I would never be into, I never thought I would ever look at the NASDAQ and the Dow. I never thought I would look at that. And I check it out, you know, to know how going economy, you know, and you know, it sucks. We're in a bad, you know, something's got to give. Hopefully, you know, the people doubted and a part of me wants him to be wrong. Nah, man, I got my fingers crossed for Trump, hoping that whatever he did is going to make the economy go through the roof and we could flourish again. You know, the Americans that it, you know, but when it's like the little people do good, you know what I'm saying?
Condition of anonymity. One more time. The president isn't guided by the market, but of course he watches it like everybody else. And again, if he was watching it today, let me look up the S&P 500 on the spot. It's bad. It's really bad. There is a spike. He wiped out in one day. One person who spoke to Trump amid the market sell-off on Thursday described the president as largely sanguine about his plan, suggesting the tariffs were only one aspect of a broader economic policy that was still coming into shape. But another person who was in touch with the president said he is getting close to his threshold for withstanding drops in the markets. I mean, he has to be close. I don't even have that much money. I'm sure everybody is getting close, especially if you've built up your retirement plan through the market, which like many Americans have.
You know, I don't even like talking, but the whole thing is, and I don't even like talking money neither. People got to remember, money is the root of all evil. But at the same time, it's what you pay your rent with. And for something that's evil, it sure has a lot of power on this planet. And it's horrible that's the, you know, the one thing that was root for the economy to be good, you know, and that's it. You know, the economy go hand in hand, and right now I'm rooting for Trump. You know, get that economy back up. The middle class, the lower middle also.
50% of Americans have a 401k of some sort. Many outside allies of the president have been confused at the messaging surrounding tariffs, which veered from calling them, quote, reciprocal to pledging they would be generous to the eventual plan. Keep in mind, these are not reciprocal tariffs. That is a lie. Now, a central question was how much Trump was open to negotiating and how aware he was of the deep criticism. I mean, he's aware, he knows. But at this very moment, he seems to be in sort of a bubble where his advisors giving him the story. The White House fielded calls from business owners and industry lobbyists, but it was unclear how aware Trump was of the blowback and whether that would shape his posture in the days up to next week's second tariff deadline. A 10% tariff on all U.S. imports will go into effect Saturday.
Just stop the baby stuff. Stop it with the, oh, well, I'll charge you higher. Oh, yeah, well, then I'll charge you. Are you serious? That's really what's going on with our acting like our children. Cut it out so we could get back to business.
With even higher tariffs slated for April 9th. Trump criticized Beijing for retaliating against his tariffs, claiming that China, quote, panicked. But China doesn't panic. China seemed rather calculated, rather calm. After Trump unveiled an additional 34%, makes the total tariff on China an incredibly high number. I'm pretty sure it's 75 to 80% now, which is just wild. With even higher tariffs slated for April 9th. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm genuinely curious what you guys think. Will Trump back down on his April 9th tariffs when that date comes? So when April 9th comes in 5 days at the time of recording this video, it might be 4 days when you're watching it. Will Trump back, yes or no? Will Trump back down on his tariffs on April 9th? Yes or no? That is the question. So
listen, man, congratulations, Makla, on your achievement. Listen, everybody, we're going to have to pray that Trump stops with the tariff thing and stops making it where if they raise the taxes, this over nonsense. His feelings got to him. He got into this tariff war, and all of America's suffering, and even other parts of the globe are paying for this childish behavior. So it's your boy Spank Dog. I'm gonna let you go. And let's keep our fingers crossed that, whatever he's doing works, or he budges and stops with the tariffs. It's your boy Spank Dog. Much love. I'm out of here.